Too much sun, as we know, of course, has a downside. It causes skin cancer, but not enough, on the flip side, can leave us short of vitamin D. It's so valuable. But with summer coming, how can we find a happy medium on what is National Skin Cancer Action Week? Let's go to nutritionist Sarah De Lorenzo, who's come in a summery outfit just to reinforce the fact it's okay to catch a few rays. Hi there, Sarah.
Hi, Ed.
You look brown as a berry.
Thank you.
Which is important. However, I know you know the downsides of catching too much sun. Well, we live in a country where skin cancer is extremely prevalent. We're probably the highest incidence of skin cancer in the world.
Right. Yep.
Maybe level with New Zealand, I guess, because we just have no ozone, essentially.
Yes.
But ironically, over 30% of us are lacking vitamin D.
That's right. And I actually see it clinically. I see it clinically all the time. The vitamin D ranges are between 50 and 200. And when I have patients come in, I can honestly say that most of them wouldn't have a reading above 70. But can I just tell the listeners a little story about vitamin D? We've all got know the slip, slop, slap. If you don't know that campaign, you're living on another planet, right? But the vitamin D is extremely important. So I want everyone to imagine there's a movie set. So the bone is the stage, vitamin D is the director, and calcium is the star. So vitamin D is set to direct the movie and goes down to the gut, which is where calcium's getting her hair and makeup done.
Oh, my God.
And he's going to direct calcium up to the stage to do her work, perform her magic, and in that way actually lay bone down. So if we have a lack of vitamin D, calcium's actually going to stay in her room in the gut. And we're also going to end up with calcium deficiency as well. So what happens to calcium? She ends up getting evacuated via the bowel. But still, at the end of the day, it leads to osteoporosis. And that's one of the big dangers of vitamin D deficiency, as well as is calcium deficiency.
It's no Disney movie.
No, it's not. But it's an easy way just for the listeners to kind of understand. Vitamin D is really important, but it's also important for things like inflammation, immunity, reproductive system, as well as skin, muscles, tendons. Yeah, and the other thing which I think, about vitamin D is the signs of deficiency are what concerns me as a practitioner.
Now, what are those symptoms and signs?
Okay, so first of all, there's obvious things like fractures, falls, those kind of mechanical things, but then it's stuff like respiratory disorders, so kids with asthma, adults with breathlessness, and that's vitamin D, linked to vitamin D deficiency as well. Yeah, definitely, as well as a sweaty forehead. Infertility is polycystic ovarian syndrome is linked to vitamin D deficiency. The one that really gets me and the one that actually breaks my heart clinically, because it's so basic, is depression is linked to vitamin D deficiency, as well as crankiness.
Indeed. We see it linked certainly in the Northern Hemisphere too, as seasonally affected disorder, the SAD acronym.
Yes.
From not getting enough light in the long winters.
Do you know what they do though in the northern regions? They have vitamin D, they have light boxes. And I truly believe, like in our society, the people that are most deficient in vitamin D are the people over the age of 70. And I actually think that nursing homes should all have light boxes in them, because they're the people that really do need the most vitamin D. It's
an interesting one, isn't it, in that we synthesise it from another giant planet / star.
Yes.
And we don't do that with other nutrients that we require.
No,
Amazing.
It's the sunshine vitamin. Yeah, it hits the skin.
Okay, so how much do we need daily then to just top up our levels as we go along?
Okay, so 20 minutes a day is definitely the minimum, and early morning is best, around between 6 and 10 a.m. or between 3 and 5 p.m, 20 minutes a day. I recommend a little bit more.
Now, are those little doses of sunlight, are they ones when it's kind of, and I'm using the little air quotes, okay not to have your block out on, so you get a little bit of a zap? This is a bit of the dilemma, right? Okay,
so this is my thing, with block out. I have... so I don't really want to bag out block out because I actually have had malignant melanoma, so I'm very in tune with all this. I like block out between 10 and 2 or 11 and 3 in daylight saving.
Yeah.
I think that people need to be very aware of what they're purchasing when it comes to sunscreens. Oxybenzone is a chemical which is dangerous and possibly carcinogenic in sunscreens. So really basic, simple rule of thumb is when you're looking for a sunscreen, pick one which is really just mineral-based with zinc in it. Don't get a cheap one. Always find out, ask questions. And my big tip though with Blockout is really just to go for some fantastic fabrics. There's rash vest. Some companies have even gone as far as to bring out leggings, like swimsuit leggings, long sleeve rash vest. Put the zinc mineral sunscreen on your hands and face, not too much of it. A hat. Go for really good fabrics. Shade. No sun between 10 and 2.
Well, they've added, to the old slip, slop, slap, they've added seek and slide.
Oh, I haven't heard that.
Yeah, so you've got to seek out shade and slide on some sunnies.
Yeah, okay.
Whole new jingle. Changes everything.
They're really trying to keep it going, aren't they?
Yeah, it's going to go for another 30 years.
It's going to keep going.
Isn't it an irony? Because we obviously try and slap on as much on our kids and grandkids as we possibly can.
Yep.
And that actually probably prevents them getting their little hit of the 20 minutes plus.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
I'm on vitamin D side. I am, because I just think there's, I really see the prevalence of that now. And I think I was reading recently that in certain countries they've actually set up vitamin D clinics.
Okay.
Yeah, I have to find out more about that though before I elaborate on that.
Now, with your nutritionist hat on, are there foods that can give us a little boost of vitamin D?
Yes, absolutely. So there's these foods should be definitely focused on throughout winter. Mm-hmm. So it's your beef liver if you like to eat that, cod liver oil if you'll take that. I know, I'm just telling you. You asked me.
Can make me have what beef liver?
No, but I'm going to say the good ones. So it's egg, cheese, milk and butter, and then it's salmon, tuna, sardines, and swordfish. They're the big ones.
Okay.
So
come winter, you won't see me. I'll be going elsewhere and rather than have beef liver.
Look, some people might like that, but that is actually rich. The highest one is cod liver oil.
Okay.
Yeah, in vitamin D. But butter's great. Cook with it. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, okay. Well, look, some people don't get enough sun. A vitamin D supplement's useful then.
Yes. Now, I definitely I've got a cute little regime that I like for anyone. I do myself and I think is great for skin.
Yeah.
Vitamin D daily, depending on age, but around 600 IU, international units. The other one I really like is zinc because it's good for your immunity and wound healing. Vitamin C, which is an antioxidant, but which is also involved in the production and maintenance of collagen, as well as coenzyme Q10, which is for cellular energy, as well as it's just a fantastic antioxidant.
Okay, right. Now, just taking a vitamin D supplement on its own is not enough because we need to be able to absorb it, do we not, with something else working?
Yeah. Both. Look, in winter, I supplement myself with vitamin D all through winter, definitely. And on days where I'm in the clinic all day, I'll definitely throw a couple of drops in a smoothie. I'm a big fan of supplementing with it. I've got my own vitamin D levels between 100 and 150, and I think it's really important. I think GPs should be screening for it all the time. But, yeah.
Okay, so that's interesting. Now, do we need more as we age to help with our bones? You've got this sort of sliding scale, haven't you?
Yes, definitely. So kids need the least, little kids, and then up until the age of 70, you're okay on about 600 IU. But when you get to 70, that's when you need about 800 IU, definitely. And supplementing's fine. It will do the job. Sunshine's the best, and food as well. All
right, now let's talk about, and this is probably right up your alley, given that we've had too much sun and we're battling some sort of melanoma or really wary of it, what sort of diet and lifestyle changes could you then implement?
Look, definitely. Okay, so looking at lifestyle changes, stress is a big thing with cancer. I mean, stress, people who stress will actually their prognosis is poorer. Mm-hmm. Exercise is essential. 50% less chance of exercise when you've got in cancer prevention, as well as getting good sleep hygiene, trying to get into your circadian rhythms. But diet-wise, it's that fantastic, whole food dietary principles of your fruit and veg, good lean proteins, as well as hydration. And a good little tip for all your listeners to know on how much water you should know that you need for your own body is 30 mils per kilo of body weight. So if you're 60 kilos, you need 1.8 litres a day. So that's how everyone can individualise their own water intake. But the thing about the cancer diet and what I did with myself post my melanoma diagnosis was I just think there's great things like ketosis, of course, is really good because it's cancer's petrol is glucose. Cancer loves glucose. So we don't want to give any petrol to any cancer cells. So of course it is a ketogenic diet with fasting. But my two little tips are with berries, they're high in antioxidants.
Yep.
If you freeze them, they breaks down the membrane. So when you eat them, there's more bioavailability.
Oh, that's good.
And my other big tip is a teaspoon a day of cinnamon. I get it in your chia, your drinks, sprinkle it over vegetables. It helps with the cellular uptake of glucose as well as it's important in anti-inflammatory. So
And it's yum.
it's still cinnamon's divine. Have it in some rice pudding. Just enjoy it.
Come on, great
Yes,
tips.
yes.
Have a lovely but safe summer.
Thank you.
And we'll chat to you next week.
Absolutely.
If you'd like to find out more of Sarah's great tips on her website, sdlmethod.com is a great first port of call too.
Absolutely.
You
Thank
keep out of the
you.
sun today. It's rather sunny though.
It's gorgeous.